Hi everybody, it's Ellen Jaffe Jones and welcome to our live on YouTube. We are going to be talking about some of these, 149 just a week ago. So it seems like every week now it's racing season in Florida, and we'll get to that in a minute. But as the headline promised, um, I'm on a number of email lists, as we all are, about different things, and one of them is current recalls. And of course, we've just now come through the romaine lettuce, and as all of us who are vegan try and get the message out there, it's not the lettuce that is the culprit. It is the E. coli coming from the runoff from the animal agriculture farms, or whatever pathogen happens to end up on the fruits and vegetables. So it's not the fruits and vegetables, so yes, you can eat more plants. So just wanted to kind of set that record straight. And also, how do you avoid, how do you stay with a strong immune system besides running, which is good for your immune system? There are studies that show that runners have better immune systems, but also drinking a lot of water. This is a 40-ounce container, and those of you who follow me know that I defeated psoriatic arthritis by drinking 64 ounces of green smoothies every day, or at least aiming for that, and then of course 100 ounces of water. That's a gallon of water every day. So that's one way to keep the FDA recalls away, and just understanding also that if you buy local, you know where the farm is. And I just recently joined a CSA in my community. I didn't even know there was one, even though I have that information in my books talking about how you should join, or just go on the website, localharvest.org, and you can find a CSA, a community-supported agriculture farm near you. And they just asked me to spend a couple hours there, and they're going to give me more produce in addition to the share that I won through a recipe contest that I entered. So very cool that I get, like, it's 3/4 of a bushel, which is like a ginormous 4 or 5 bags, grocery bags of produce every week, and I love it. So you should really, really, really try and find a CSA, or even just a local farm near you, and then you can go out there and see what it looks like. Is there any animal agriculture runoff nearby? Generally, these farms they're organic, and they do a lot of good things to get the produce to you in a healthful way. So don't blame the fruits and vegetables, blame the animals and basically their poop that runs off into the nearby farms that are way too close. To be certified organic, they have to have a certain perimeter from pesticides and herbicides and all different kinds of things to meet the USA's legal definition, the USDA's legal definition of certified organic. So check that out if you want to try and avoid eating food. The latest one I saw was cauliflower. It's like, really? I just had cauliflower for lunch, but it was frozen and it came from a mainstream grocery store, so hopefully it's not a big deal. All right, so my latest 5K that I won first in my age group, and I'm going to walk away from the camera here, hopefully you can hear it. It is the Frosty 5K right here, and we'll just whip this off the wall. Now, some of these races now, they're starting to give finishers medals to everybody who finished, which is, whatever. But most of these that are up here are actually age group awards like that. So this year's Frosty 5K, and what's cool about this one is that because my significant other boyfriend keeps track and, arranged all these in such a beautiful way. I know they were in a bag when I moved here, just a big old bag. I didn't have them displayed very nicely at all. So he did this for me, and he keeps records of all this. So we have verified not only through the medals that I have, the website information that's now available, and also, what else? Bibs. I write on the back of bibs. And by correlating all of that, that's how, I had the number 149 5K or longer races that I've placed, and that means usually 1 through 3 in the top age group categories for the 5-year increments. That's right now for me it's 65 to 69. So I've placed 149 times in the 1 through 3, and there are a few occasions, like I think that one right up there, that may be a 6th place. So that comes from the Minnesota Track Club, which is Sarasota and Manatee counties, Bradenton, area here, and they do 6 deep in their races. So there's maybe somewhere between 8 and 10 races where I say that I've placed in my age group, getting 4th through 6th, even though in most other races getting 4th through 6th doesn't count. But because their races tend to be so big, they go 6 deep, and it makes everybody feel better. Okay, but this one, what's cool about this one is that there were several years, and because my boyfriend has kept track of this, where I never placed at all. So that's kind of interesting to see what's happening. What is happening? I've lost 10 pounds this year trying to defeat psoriatic arthritis, which I have. I've done that story about how my palms were all cracked and bleeding and there's nothing there. The fingernails were coming off. Part of what happens with that autoimmune disease, which another wonderful gene I got from my family. But what triggered it was traveling on the road since 2011, being under a lot of stress, doing that and not eating enough vegetables. So now I am regulated, eating 64 ounces of greens squeezed into a Vitamix, and whatever it takes to get that go down, thanks to the help of Dr. Brooke Goldner and her great work. So check her out if you're dealing with some kind of autoimmune disease. All right, so that's this, and I got another race coming up maybe tomorrow. It's our Jingle Bell Run, a very large race here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, except it's like been storming out, and I'm not even sure people were asking, is the race still going to happen? And generally races happen, even if it's raining. Lightning is another story, and in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten emails from race directors saying, well, we might cancel the race because there's all this terrible weather predicted. But we've, in one case, the race was delayed 3 hours, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. The reason I mention it is not because I hope I place in it. Last year I did get first in my age group, but you know, you never know who shows up on race day, and 1 year later all the youngsters are piling into your age group. You know how that goes. But they asked me to do vegan food for the race, and so I'm really, really, really happy that it was successful with the with the last race that I did called the Boo Run here in Lakewood Ranch. And I paid to be the primary sponsor so that we could have, and that was the condition, I'll be your main sponsor and donate some money if you let me have all vegan food that I can expose all these kids and runners to, as opposed to the chocolate milk that the Dairy Council pays for to place in your finishers' hands as we cross the finishing line. And so, you know, I've been doing that for 40 years and having to inhale charred animal remains, and I just thought, once in my life I want to like cross the finish line and just at least, if I don't smell great vegan food, which there is, at least be able to not have chocolate milk at the finish line, or hot dogs and hamburgers that just really are nauseating after you run 3 miles really fast. So I'm very excited to be doing that tomorrow. I'll probably be doing, they're only giving me $100 budget to work with for 3,000 runners. So I'm probably just going to make a great big salad bowl with quinoa, you know, as a cancer project, PCRM cooking instructor for a number of years. We learned how to stretch things in case like another 30 people showed up at the last minute. So that should be quite fun. So that is my update, and I am looking at this, you know, I do a few YouTube videos here, and who knows, right now it's not showing anybody is listening, and that's kind of been the case, but then, you know, once it gets uploaded, then it seems like more people watch, so whatever. Jane Velez Mitchell, a great animal rights activist, encouraged a lot of us 3 or 4 years ago to get off of YouTube, that we would have more exposure on Facebook, doing Facebook Lives, and that has been the case. But every once in a while, I kind of feed the beast, as we do in social media. We're on so many different platforms, so only so many hours in the day, and you know, I am a pretty involved runner. This is from the National Senior Games 2 years ago, where I placed 3rd in the U.S. in the 4x100, and a bunch of other things I've told you about on my other talks. But you know, it takes time every day. You know, you have to spend, if you're not running and doing dynamic warm-ups, which I am really passionate about doing. That's really what's kept me injury-free, in addition to eating a plant-based diet. But also, cool downs too afterwards. So, you've got about a half hour or so, maybe an hour on either side of the actual training run. So that's important to maintain that as well. And then, I don't always run every day. So it looks like, all right, let's see what's going on here. All right, I got a message that my battery is dying, even though I'm plugged into the wall and I know it's charging, go figure. So I better sign off before I get cut off by the battery gods. If you have any questions at all, I'm a certified personal trainer, running coach. Just to ask below. I've been a runner for 40 years, and yes, my knees are great, because vegans typically don't get degenerative arthritis, osteoarthritis, and that is what I've been running around the country saying, vegans don't get arthritis, and then I end up getting an autoimmune disease related sort of to that, but all gone now. And as I said in my previous video, the neurologist that I got sent to said, why are you even here? So it's all good. You can do this just on plants. You can have lots of energy, and whatever your sport is, get out there and do it, and enjoy spreading the message. As I like to say, veganism, running is my activism, and that's how I promote the message of veganism. Usually wearing a vegan message shirt so people know that I am vegan, and even if I don't place in the age group, and that's what this is really all about. And I just want to close with that. This is not about being competitive. This is not about winning my age group. This is about wearing a message shirt and getting out there as a vegan and saying, you know what? Because people will come up to me I'm holding this in my hand, and they'll go, oh, you can't run on a vegan diet. Oh, you can't race on a vegan diet. It's like, well, let's have that conversation. So at each one of these races, even if they're small ones, there's going to be about 300 people there, maybe racers, and their families and their friends and the local community where the streets are. And then, some of the races can be 3,000 to 5,000 people and all their friends and relatives. And all the people are going to watch their videos and their pictures and see, oh, who is that woman standing in the vegan shirt? Does that mean you can run on a vegan diet and place in your age group? That's what this is about. So we all need to get out there and get the message out whatever way we can. Find your passion and just do it. All right, everybody, gotta run. Thanks for watching. See if I can figure out how to turn it off. Oh my gosh. All right. Yes, I want to share it. Okay, we'll just hit the share button. Bye. Okay, we're not going to share. We just want to turn it off. Why do these things have to be so... Oh, there's an X. I'll try that. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes.